Hello and welcome to part 4 of our Tamiya Tyrrell P34 six-wheeler 1/12 scale build. So here we go. We're going to kick off right from where we left off in part 3, and as you can see, there's all our what they call front uprights, which I call front disc brakes and assemblies. And we're on to step 9 now, which I'll pop up in this corner here. And there's not many parts for this. Yeah, the only thing we've really got to get here are a couple of brackets, G4s and G5s, 2 of each, which are on here, which I'll cut them off. They need to be painted gloss black. We can do that, no problem. The only different thing here too is we've got some ducting to add, air duct to be exact. And there's different sizes. We've got a short and a long version. And they've got the samples down on the bottom of the instructions so you can see the size, tell the difference. And I can see the way they connect, but I don't know where they lead off to, but we'll have a look when we get to there. So what we'll do is we'll get everything down on here ready. So here's one side, put that there. And then here's the other side. That's where this is all going to go. I'll go finish to take these off the sprue and paint them up the whole lot so they're ready, and then straight up we can put all these parts on for step 9. Thank you all for the new subscribers I've seen join the channel. Welcome to the channel. Don't forget, hit that notifications bell to all, and you'll get notified of each time a video goes up. Don't forget, on Fridays I'm doing my live stream. You can come in there and have a chat live with me, and we can talk about modeling and anything else, most likely everything else as well. And yeah, your comments are welcome. If you think of something you want to mention down in the comments, tips or anything like that, or just say g'day, then please do down there in the comments and give us the thumbs up to it. All right, guys, I'll be back and we'll get these bits put together shortly. Okay, welcome back. So there's our parts I've just done in the black. They're all ready to go on. So I've just started with this one here. So this is on the right side of the vehicle, and we're using the right front disc here. And what I've done is it sits as like a ball sits up in the top onto there. And then this piece in here will clip in there, which I've done. Then over here, we've got this piece. See that there? Just move that up a bit. That's going to clip onto there. Just push that on. There we go. Scary when you hear these clicks, but that's on actually, and that's working. Okay, I'm really happy. Good. That's on. Now, also on this piece, just having a look here, in the back here, and it tells you to do this sort of before what I've just done, is to connect one of these, and they're keyed to go on in the right way. It goes like that. That's for a future step. That's part of the steering rod that comes and connects to that actually. So that the steering wheel can turn this. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. What I'll do now, there's also that ducting. Okay, so on this we need a air duct, the short one. Here they are, here the different lengths. This is the short one. It will just connect onto the back of there, which in future probably best to do it before you install it. But that's going to go on there, and just as far as I can tell, just stick it through like that. Okay, anyway, I'll get this done. I'll get this one on as well, and then we'll come back and have a look at the process and see how it's looking. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. I'll just bring you back here. I just wanted to make sure I didn't tell you that top little ball joint, you make sure you press that and clip it in, because I was wondering what's holding that up but it's in that ball joint. And also this came on, that went on no problem at all. So you can do that at that stage without a problem. Okay, now I'm just going to glue this little connector, which will go like that on there. Okay, I shall return. Okay, we're back and they're done. Left and right side, no problems at all. Just a few scary moments when they clip in with the little pieces on there, but other than that, no problems. Really amazing how accurate Tamiya are getting these parts on. So fantastic. So as you can see, these will turn in unison once their steering arm is connected, which will connect to those sprockets connectors there. I think it's on each side, I'm not sure. There you go. Those I've just tucked them in there for now. Not sure where they go. And that's it. That's step 9 done. So let's throw step 10 up there and have a look, and pretty much attaching the suspension panel. This is going on to our Formula One car. So exciting stuff, along with those 2 steering racks that connect. So if you remember, I'll bring it across here. There we go there. So we have these 2 arms here connecting to the rack and pinion for the steering, and it looks like those will connect somehow to those. Yeah, so we need parts K14. There's 2 K14s which have to be painted gloss black, and they'll connect so that we've got some steering. All right, so I'll grab those parts. I'll even paint them up, and we'll have them ready, and we'll try and put all this on. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, welcome back, guys. So I've glued the sides on. That was reasonably easy. Once it lined up, it all goes pretty much together. Not a problem at all. Just make sure that these are in tight, and you should be all right. Now, as for the linkage for the steering rack and pinion there, boy, I'll tell you what, it's nerve-wracking. The best thing to do is if you push it all to the right and have it sticking out here as much as possible, then you can hold it in by this end and get that link on there. It's a tight fit, but it didn't break. So that clicked on. Then rather than trying to connect it onto the back of the rear brake housing, I went and did the other side. So I pushed it through the other way, so I had as much as I could reach on here sticking out, and clipped that on. Okay, once that was done, it was just a matter of lining it up and pushing them in on the side, and they'll clip in quite hard. So just be aware of where your hands are and what you're touching, because you got to be careful you don't break off another linkage if you got too much pressure. But once that went on, then did the other one, and we're good. Because if I turn this now, you can see that all 4 wheels, which is basically what happens when we put the steering in, we're going to have all 4 wheels move. So pretty complicated, but it went together. So I'm pretty happy with that. These I will probably glue them on because I wouldn't want them to fall off. I'll probably glue them, put a touch of CA glue where they're on there and on there. I'm just not 100% if that's the position they're supposed to be in. I think it is. It looks right going by the instructions. But I won't glue it in for now. All right. That's it. So step 10 is done. Let's have a look at step 11. We'll put that up in the corner here. It looks like we're doing the roll bar. It goes over the back of the driver's seat here. Yeah, it's the front roll bar we're attaching, and we've got to build all that up. So some of the colors we're going to need to be thinking about is chrome silver, which will be the actual roll bar itself. There's also aluminium on the D12s, as you can see on the end there. Most of it all is aluminium, and I'm just looking across. There's a piece down on the goes down on the very front of the vehicle here, D8, which is aluminium as well. So there's a few bits to get ready to put on here. Again, there's some more parts that you do not glue. Take note of that. And yeah, the roll cage sort of goes over to the back by the looks of it as well, and threads through. There's a hole in the back of the seat there. It's like there's a bar that's going to be X11. What's that? Chrome silver going across into there. And there's a red brown we actually get to use. Red brown. That could be, no, I'm not sure what that is. It's a handle of some sort. I have to go to some reference photos. But we're getting up into where the instrument cluster is, up on that section there, just in front of the driver. Yeah, okay, I'm just moving it into the same orientation and going back. So yeah, it's going to come over here. All right, so it looks like we've got quite a few bits and pieces to take off and prep, so I shall do that. Okay, we'll be back again shortly. Right, so we've got all our parts off here, ready to paint. Couple of things I'll point out. This part of the roll cage, or this cross member part, there's two little anchor points that need to slide on here either end. They're quite a tight fit, particularly around the curve on here. So what you need to do is sand this down, like get this smooth. There's a seam lines all the way across this. I've sanded them off completely, and then it flows through much easier. I'm hoping it will with the paint. I'll just make sure I don't get paint on the inside of these. That's why I've put them on toothpicks like this, so that paint won't get on the inside. So the only paint will be on there, and it should be okay. You don't want to be scraping paint off as you're trying to put these on. They go on either side to there and there. You'll see that in the instructions up there, step 11. Also, the seam lines are also running around the roll bar here. So I've just gone along with the back of my knife and just scraped across it and brought it off and got them off easily. And then you can come along with if you've got the glass nano files, they're really good too. All right, and just smooth it all out. That does it, finishing it off really nicely. All the roll cage parts needed that. This part here, which I'm not too sure what that is, but it has a handle on it, it looks like, because this has to be painted a red-brown color. There was an ejector pin mark right on that, so I had to sand that as much as I could to get rid of it, and it's come up okay. But again, some of these parts are fairly delicate, so you want to be careful. There's also this part here that goes on the front bulkhead. Fairly simple, just getting it all trimmed up tidy. That'll be done in the aluminium. Yeah, so the aluminium will be most of this. We also have chrome silver. It'll be, sorry, I'll get that right. It'll all be chrome silver. This part will be aluminium. And of course that little red brown, which I'll hand paint that one. That'll be no problem. All right, so I'll go paint these parts, or prime the parts, paint the parts, let them dry, and then we'll come back and put it all together. Okay, back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So there's all our parts, all painted up and ready. We just bring our car over. Go. Off. There it is. So, all right, let's just do a quick test fit on some of these. First, we've got that piece to go on the front bulkhead, which will go here like that. not like that, like this. Yep, that's gonna, yep, they'll sit in there, perfect. We'll get that on there. Then we have this one, which goes, is it in there? Looks like it's in there. There we go. That's pretty cool. Stand that up a bit more. I think, oh, I see, there's another, this piece here will go to that location there. And I think this will touch on there. That's it there. That's good. Now the this part, which was confusing me, I still don't know exactly what that is. I think there's a location point. Just trying to see where that is in there, and it goes through the hole in the back. Which doesn't seem long enough. I think these need to go back down a bit more. Yeah, that is strange, isn't it? That's supposed to reach into the hole at the back, but if I put it into the hole at the back, it's not long enough, is it? That's interesting. I'll figure that out. All right, I'll come back in a second and we'll check this out. I think this one here is not too difficult. It's going to go that way. If we take these back out, like this one's going to go, oh, I see, this connects up to the suspension down there, right? It's going to sit in there and rotate down, and then those little clips will clip onto the end of those. Tricky. One of these things where I need an extra hand. All right, I'll be back in a second. I'll get this set up. Okay, we're back. So what we've got here is I put that front piece on the bulkhead. These, they're all in place, but I haven't glued them. I'm not going to glue them yet because in the next step, we need to do some work on these with the instrument cluster and a few other things on there. So it may be easy to take it off and work on it. So I won't glue them in. This cross strut here is on, no problems at all. I glued the two supports in on the inside and then got the little clips on either of those. Another nervous moment as they clipped into place, a bit tight, but they're on, so all good. This part here, which is the gear shift, I figured it out. I found out that the instructions are a little bit deceiving. They make it look like it goes on the top of this, but obviously it won't. It goes down the side. So you pop that in the hole at the back there, see that, and then this will go over to that point there, and that's where it goes. Have to be careful, that's just been painted, but there it is in place there. The handle is a wood handle, that's why I'm using the wood brown. I'm going to actually clear coat that and get that to be a bit more shiny, because obviously it's a different sort of thing. One other thing is because of the angle of this roll bar here, this doesn't sit in there perfectly straight. So what I've done is I've chaffered it off just at a slight angle on here as well as on there. Just use my knife to take off a bit of angle so that now when this pin goes into place there, it sits there nice and square. And before there was a bit of a gap because of it wasn't straight up and down. Okay, but yeah, so I'm going to go clear coat this, make this little handle, gear shift handle, nice and shiny. And that's it. I also put in these two pieces on either side. Must be something to do with the brackets to hold the side panels on. And that's it. That completes step 11. Moving on to step 12 now. I'll throw that up in the corner. We'll have a look. And we're working on attaching the steering shaft, which also includes the instrument cluster is going on, and the steering wheel as well. So this is all going to start looking really nice. So yeah, I'll get some parts off and we'll start on that. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So I've painted that up in the red brown that we're supposed to do it in, and I've put a bit of gloss coat over it, so nice and shiny. It's looking nice and wood-like, which is what I want. So that's come up nice. And now I've got all the other parts, including the steering wheel. I'm just going to go and prime them up and get them painted up. All right, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I've got these all painted up. This is done in the aluminium. This was done in the chrome silver steering column. The steering wheel, I've undercoated it, but I just painted the center of it gloss black. This outside, they want that done in just a matte black, but I'm going to use rubber black. I think that looks really good, and it's going to look a bit more realistic, and I'll hand paint that on there. That'll be fine. There's our instrument cluster is going to be on here. There's 3 tiny little bolt heads, which I'll probably just touch with a bit of chrome silver on there for a bit extra detail, but we've also got decals to go in there as well. So I have to get the decals ready to go on, and hand paint those bits, and then they're ready to put in the car. So when we come back, we'll get these attached into the car. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So here we go. We're all ready to put all these on. I just want to show you that steering wheel. Look how well that came up with that tire black on there. Really has a beautiful effect, eh? So that's that. Now on this, I've noticed there's a few areas around here that are probably going to need a bit of extra detail. On the this is not connected on yet, but on here, there's a couple of toggle switches, which I might just touch in there red. There's a button there. I might add a bit of color to. On the back, there's some areas here where I could run some wires off, and I'm thinking about using some of my really thin wire here, just to add a bit of detail. Also, on the steering wheel itself, could probably just touch a few of the little, there's 3 bolts on that center of the steering wheel that I'll touch with the chrome silver, bring them up nice. And of course the decals, which we've got to put on the console itself. And this little piece I forgot, there's plenty of these little connectors for, I'm guessing this would be for your accelerator cable coming off the back of the dash there. It says to paint that black like the rest of it, but I'm going to do it black, but I'll also do it in the same blue as the car, just to add a bit of detail, like I did with the connectors down on the front in there, if you can see those, about a bit of glare on that silver aluminium. So every now and then I'll have these little touches of blue around, which will sort of blend in real nice and go along with the actual real car itself, rather than just following the instructions here, which are good, but they're not as detailed as looking at the real car and seeing all these extra things. Showed you the steering, their little handle there done in wood. That's come up really nice. Happy with that. So yeah, I'll touch these up. I'm going to put these on, and we'll come and have a closer look. I'll probably best way would be to take some nice photographs, and I'll put them up so we can see them better. Okay, I'll be back shortly when this is done. Okay, we're back again. I just wanted to show you the gauges here. See them in there, looking really nice. And I'll show you a little bit of a trick I want to do is I'm using the MIG Ultra Glue. Okay, this is photo etch and for clear parts. Okay, it dries beautifully crystal clear, right? What you do is you just keep a bit in a separate container, water it down to whatever consistency you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it in here to cover these gauges, and that'll give a beautiful glass effect over them. So you can see them now before, and then after I put a few drops of this on, we'll have a look after it dries, and you'll see that there'll be a beautiful reflection in there showing that there's like a glass effect over them. All right, okay, I shall return again shortly. Okay, welcome back, guys. So I've got the steering wheel on, got the console on, the whole steering mechanisms in. I've just glued it not long ago, so I don't want to turn it, but I have tested it, and you turn the wheel and the wheels do turn, so all good there. I'll put a picture up in the corner there so you can see a bit better, because it's quite small, but it's come up looking really nice. Putting the MIG ammo canopy glue, photo etch glue in there really did make the look like there's glass in those gauges. So that's come up really nice. The wheel looks really good, as you can see that in the photo. And yeah, little bits and pieces on the frame there with the buttons are painted red and blue on the other side. Nice little touches, I think. And that's it. That completes step 12 of the instructions. So we're really powering along now. Let me just turn the page and let's put step 13 up in the corner here. I'll be back in a sec. Now, I will mention that the steering rack going down into the black piece there, that's part of the rack and pinion set up there, I don't know. It was hard to tell if I'd had that pushed right in far enough and engaged properly. It's difficult to tell if that's in there or not, but I have actually super glued it in, so it's not, if it isn't, it's not going to be a problem anyway. There's no way it's going to come loose. Same with the steering wheel at this end, that's super glued in, so we're not going to have any slipping in the corners while we're trying to turn the car. The wheels should turn. And yeah, so if I just do this lightly, you'll just see them. There you go. If you can just make that out. Just turn that wheel a little bit, and literally you could imagine that's really all you're going to have to do to turn the wheels going through corners. You know how precise and accurate these machines are. All right, so step 13. So as you can see up there, we're actually got one of the body panels on, which will sit in here. And then there's lots and lots of little bits and pieces that all go on the back around this area. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is, I find best practices is if you're going to do any body panels, it's probably best to paint them all at once, just so you get that consistency of your paint and color right through, so you can look at everything and go, yep, that all looks good. And particularly using the Diamond 2K from Outlaw Paints, I'd rather do 2K all the car panels in one shot at one time. So what I might do is we'll grab this piece, because I did have a look at the fit on this in a couple of videos earlier when I was putting the body and the chassis together, and we'll just place it down. But what we'll do is we'll see what else amongst these parts on step 13 we can put on without actually putting it on. All right, we may skip some parts in this step and move on, because the next step is actually doing the roll bar, which I think we can completely attach all that on without it interfering or having a problem with the body panel not being there. So we'll see how that goes. And then after we've done some work here going on the next few steps, we actually begin on the engine. So if you can understand what I mean, if I can build up these next 3 steps without having to put that panel on yet, because I'm not ready to paint all the panels yet, we'll go through and do what I can do. Otherwise, we're going to go and jump ahead to step 16 and start building the engine, because that's a major part of this build, and that's going to go through quite, at least I can see a dozen steps building the engine. Transmission included. Yeah, included. All right, so let me get organized here and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so here's our piece, that body panel, just fitting it on there for a test fit. No problems at all. What I found out is that there are some parts in here that I can put on in step 13, including here. There's a piece that goes in. There's a piece that goes in the side here we can do. There are some attachments in here and here and at the front that we'll leave off because they can only go on after this has been painted. So we'll leave them off. Then quickly, if I go look at step at 14 going on, there's the roll cage there. Now, I can't put it on because it attaches to this body panel part here. But I can put everything on that roll cage, get it all prepped, painted, and then on the back here, we've got what looks like maybe it's a fire extinguisher of some sort, some other bits and pieces that we can put in the back here. So a lot of that can be done. There's also a couple of little bit more pieces that can go on top of here. So that's fine. But we won't actually attach the roll cage, so that will hold off. We'll put that aside for a while. Then going to step 15 now, there's a whole section there that gets put together, and that all sits in the back. I'm not sure if that will interfere with the fitting of the roll cage. If it doesn't, then we can attach that on and put that on there. That'd be fine. Otherwise, well, either way, we can at least get it all put together and ready to go on. There is a little filter of some sort that attaches in the back here as well. It looks like that'll go on without a problem. And that would be all of that ready to go, except for those few things we can't put on, because over the next page is the engine, starting with the engine. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start on this. I'll put this aside because this will get painted when all the other body parts do later in the build. But we'll build up what we can as far as we can go. All right, so I'll come back because I've got some more, lots of parts that we can take off the sprue and get ready, and get them all attached. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So I've primed up all the parts for step 13. Now obviously I'm going to paint them. Most of these parts, I think all of them are chrome silver. Okay, but yeah, they are all chrome silver. But I won't be putting them all on because some of them, like these here, and I've put the photo etch on them as well. These two pieces had photo etch on top as well as this. These go on top of the body panel that sits around the top there, as you'll see in step 13. Put that there. So I'll put these away when I've finished painting them properly, and I'll just label them there as step 13 in the container, and we'll come back to them after. The rest of the pieces I'm going to put on, no problem at all. There may be some little touches I might add there with a bit of blue, just to make it color match with some of these little connectors. And then I looked at step 14, excuse me, and this part here is for step 14. This is actually sprayed white, but it does have a couple of brackets around it. So I'm going to probably mask them off or hand paint them so that they stay chrome silver, okay, or aluminium, actually, aluminium. There's also the roll bar. So the roll bar is this one here. There it is, looking quite nice in chrome. And it would be great to leave it like that. And I will be having it chrome because it's actually the only part of the car that when the body panels are all on, you can only see the top bit here. And it is actually chrome, not aluminium or chrome silver. So I want the whole thing to be chrome. But I don't know if you can see it, but there's some flashing there. You see that flashing on the bottom and also on the top? And there's also a seam line or mold line all the way the inside and outside, all the way around, that needs to be all sanded. And of course, if I'm going to sand and trim off all this, well, that's going to take the chrome off. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using the Outlaw Paints, and I'll be priming it, doing it in the gloss black, and then hitting it with that beautiful Outlaw Paints chrome, and it's going to look really fantastic. But that's a lot of work. That will take quite a bit of work doing all of that. And I haven't yet gone on to step 15 and looked at all those parts yet that connect onto the back of the car and sort of inside this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to finish the video off here, and when we come back which will be in video part 5, we'll have these all ready to attach and go on, and probably a lot of the parts in step 14 and even step 15, at least everything painted and put together. We'll do all that in the next video. Okay, so thank you all for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tune in and watch me on the Fridays on the live stream. That'd be great. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Okay, cheers all, bye for now.